All right, so today, guys, we're going to do multiplication.
No!
What is wrong with multiplication?
We hate school.
Well, you have to learn to multiply.
No.
Why not? Why can't you learn to multiply?
Well, because this is a school to learn about God.
I know,
Not
but
yucky math.
well, you need to learn multiplication
No.
to learn about God.
Miss Julie, listen.
What? It's easy.
Well, the way we don't like school is because it's not fun.
It's not fun.
No,
It's
never
not fun.
No,
Well,
it's not fun at all.
How can we make it fun? Let's just do a couple, okay? Like, let's see. 10 times 10.
20?
No, that's 10 plus 10.
That's really hard.
10 times 10 is 100. Isn't that amazing? You guys don't look amazed. Okay. 2 times 3.
30?
No.
I have no
2
idea.
times 3 is 6. You guys, what are we, you don't know? You don't know multiplication?
No, we don't. We're still
How about this one?
Fractions.
Okay, how about this one? 8 times 0.
8.
No, if you have 8 zeros. Yeah, 0. Good. 9 times 6?
3?
Oh boy, we got a lot of work to do. 9 times 6 is 54. Do you guys even know what multiplication even is? Oh man, we're gonna have to start at the beginning here. I think we better start with a story in the Bible about multiplication. What do you think?
How does that help with math?
Multiplication? How does the Bible help with math?
Yes.
Well, let me find out. I think there is a story in the Bible about miracle number 4. Does anybody know what miracle number 1 was?
No.
I
Wine. Jesus turned the water into wine. What was miracle number 2?
Boy. He healed a boy.
He healed a boy. What was miracle number 3? He healed the man at the pool of Bethesda. Remember, the guy didn't have very good chances of winning? Just like Miss Julie in the lottery. I wasn't going to win. And he was at the wrong place. He made the wrong choice. He was at the wrong place. But what happened? Jesus came anyway and healed him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Now, miracle number 4. It has to do with multiplication.
Oh no.
Okay? Feeding the 5,000. It starts in John chapter 6. After these things, Jesus went over to the Sea of Galilee, which is in the Sea of Tiberias. And a great multitude followed him. Do you know what a multitude is?
No.
A multitude is a lot of people. So a lot of people followed him. So he started out with just a few people following him. But the more miracles he did, the more people followed him.
Why did they follow him?
Well, they wanted to...
Like this.
Yeah, they wanted to see him do more miracles. So it says, so he went up on the mountain and he sat with his disciples. Now the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was near. Then Jesus lifted up his eyes and seeing a great multitude, all those people, coming towards him, he said to Philip, that was one of his disciples, "Where shall we buy bread that these may eat?" Oh boy, he needed to feed them supper? Really? Oh, well, how? He can't cook? What?
Stoves weren't even created
Yeah,
back then.
what is he going to do? He's got a multitude of people.
And they're hungry.
And they're hungry. Oh no, they're probably saying, "My tummy hurts. I'm hungry. I need food."
Jesus? He's probably saying, "Sorry, can't help you." Then there were angry mobs with
Oh,
torches
you know what?
and clubs
He
and
didn't
swords.
say that. You know why he didn't say that?
No,
Because
he loves them.
He loves them. He loves the people, and he wanted to take care of them. So that's why he didn't say it. That's why he thought, Philip, where are we going to get food? So Jesus actually said that to Philip to test him. For he himself knew what he would do. So Jesus knew what he was going to do. Philip answered him and said, 200 denarii worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may have a little. So Philip said, even with all the money that we could possibly have, that's still not enough money to feed all these people. What are we going to do? One of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said to him, "There is a lad here who has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fish, but what are they among so many? There was a boy who had a basket, and he had 5 little teeny loaves of bread, probably about as big as this card, little loaves of bread, and 2 small fishes. Do you think that's going to feed a multitude?
No!
No. This is where multiplication comes in. Somebody needs to multiply that food, because there's not enough for the multitude. So then Jesus said, make the people sit down. Now there was a lot of grass in the place, so the men sat down, in number about 5,000. That's a lot of hungry men. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed them to the disciples, and the disciples to those sitting down, and likewise of the fish, as much as they wanted. So Jesus took the loaves. The boy gave Jesus the loaves, and when Jesus touched them, what happened?
They multiplied.
They multiplied, you're right. So they became enough fish and enough bread for 5,000 people. So when they were full, so they were filled. It says all the people were full. They weren't hungry anymore. So when they were filled, he said to his disciples, gather up the fragments that remain so nothing is lost. There was even leftover. There was even leftover bread and fish. Can you believe it? When he started out with just 5 loaves. Therefore they gathered them up and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves which were left over by those who had eaten. Then those men, when they had seen the sign that Jesus did, said, this is truly the prophet who has come into the world. Now,
What's a prophet?
a prophet is someone who is telling the future. So, let's think back on our craft project for today. Remember when we did our Valentines?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
And why did you do those Valentines?
Because we loved.
Because you love the people you're going to send them to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus loved these people. He loved them so much, he wanted them to have enough to eat. Because he wanted them to have enough to eat, he multiplied the food to make them feel better. Isn't that nice?
Mm-hmm.
He could have just said, well, you walked all the way out here. You didn't think about bringing your own lunch, guys? No, of course not, because he had compassion, didn't he? Do you know what compassion is?
No.
Compassion is kind of like love. But compassion means when somebody isn't feeling good or when somebody is having a bad day, you kind of feel like, what can I do to make them feel better? That's what compassion is. And Jesus had compassion on the multitude. Can you believe that? And his compassion turned into love when he had an action to love the people, to multiply all that food and turn that food into enough to feed 5,000 people. Do you know how many, if each person had 1 loaf of bread, this say each person had 1 little piece of bread like this big, like these cards, how many loaves of bread would Jesus have had to have? He would have had to have 5,000, right?
Uh-huh.
So he would have had to multiply those 5 pieces of bread by 1,000. 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. And if each person needed 2 little fish, because it sounds to me like the little boy just brought enough lunch for himself. So if each person had 2 little fish and he needed to multiply that to feed 5,000 people, right? He had to multiply that by 1,000. That would be 2. Oh, wait. That's wrong. Wait. 5 times 1,000 is 5,000. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he would need how many fish? He'd need 2 fish for 5,000 people. That'd be 10,000. He'd need 10,000 fish and 5,000 loaves of bread if he gave everybody what the boy had. That's a lot. Wow. That's pretty neat. So Jesus did that because he loved them. Just like our Valentine's Day cards. We made those Valentine's Day cards because we love the people that we're going to send them to. But what happens when you love somebody? Do you think maybe that person shows love to somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
And that person shows love to somebody else? And somebody else? And another, and another, and another? It multiplies, doesn't it? Loving people multiplies, just like Jesus multiplied the fish and the bread. So, what's our miracle? Jesus
Multiplies?
Jesus multiplies. He touched the food, right? And he made the food multiply for enough to eat. When Jesus shows us that he loves us, we can tell others that he loves us. And then they can learn that he loves them too, right? That's right. Miracle number 4. He multiplied the fish and the bread. See you next week.